get a weekend where it's like this, nice. And we can come here and investigate it. There is another location up the road. I'm not sure if I'm not 100%, but we might go and check it out. See if it's changed, see if we've lost it. Yeah. Right, thanks for whoever was watching. If there is any comments, I'll put them over. But yeah, it's an interesting place. Sad though, with the boys, the 28 boys that are here, plus the headmaster and the teacher. It's really sad. It's sad that no one goes there. My body bothers putting flowers on their grave. And it's literally just one big grave. So what is the harm of just putting some flowers down on it? Even if it's just one bunch. I mean, look, there it is, all along there, that long road. That's where the boys are. So, there's plenty of pots that you could have gone to. Doing its own thing again. That's signature. Come on. Right, yep. So I'm going to go. As I said, I'm going to try and snap some fun. I know Trevor's just done some, but I'm going to try and do some as well. So I will talk to you soon. If everything goes alright, I got signal. If we go to the other location, I will go live. So, yeah, speak to you soon. Bye. Put the glasses up so I can see what I'm doing.
The resting place of the boys and teachers. The school grave is regularly tended, but the remainder of the cemetery is neglected and overgrown. The chapel barely visible in the undergrowth. This cemetery contains the mass grave and memorial to the children and other victims of a World War II bombing. Initial article. July 2007. On Tuesday the 29th of September 1942 at 10:25 a.m. a lone German bomber, approaching from the south over Hose Farm, aimed its bombs at troops in the grounds of Petworth House. All missed their intended target, falling into the boys' school near the junction of North Street and Horsham Road. There was no air raid warning, and of the 80 children at school that day 28 were killed and a large number injured. Along with the children, the explosions also took the lives of the headmaster, Charles Stevenson, and Charlotte Marshall, an assistant teacher. A nearby laundry was also badly damaged, killing Eva Streeter, who was working there. The cemetery, which is no longer used for burials, today, July 2007, is the center of a row about who actually owns it and is responsible for its upkeep. With all contenders denying responsibility. But someone is at least attempting to keep some of the grass to a reasonable level. Whilst the area around the school grave seems to be regularly tended, the remainder of the cemetery is neglected and very overgrown with fallen and falling headstones. Access to the graveyard for those wishing to visit the memorial, or other graves, is difficult and nigh impossible for anyone with limited mobility. Any visitors to Petworth would have great difficulty in finding the spot if they wanted to visit what is, after all, a memorial to a dramatic event in local recent history which wiped out a significant number of Petworth's younger generation. Very few residents of Petworth at the time of the bombing would have failed to have been touched by this harrowing incident. Bishop Bell, Bishop of Chichester, had conducted the mass funeral for the victims in 1942, and 60 years later in 2002, the RT Rev John Hind, Bishop of Chichester, officiated in a memorial service in St. Mary's Church. There was an open invitation to parishioners, relatives, friends and survivors of the bombing to attend. Prior to the visit, Parish Councillor Tony Whitcomb had told the council at its meeting that the condition of the cemetery was such that he hoped the bishop would not visit it when he was in the town. Whilst the school's grave was neatly maintained, Urgent work was needed to repair headstones on other graves and clear undergrowth, Mr. Whitcomb said. There have been mixed publications not only of the intentions of the aircraft crew, but also on the identity of the German aircraft responsible. Some stating that it was a Junkers 88 and another that it was a Heinkel 111. Much of this published information has been shown to be incorrect. Fathers and mothers of the boys follow the coffins to the grave in the lovely country graveyard. In a village so small, almost everyone was related to at least one of the dead. None of the boys were evacuees. The 3rd of October 1942, 32 residents of the small town of Petworth in Sussex were buried today in a mass grave, within 100 yards of the scene of the death. Almost the whole town turned out to show their respect and grief. Due to the large amount of children killed in such a small town, very few families have not been personally affected by this outrage. These same troops provided transport in the form of lorries to carry the many coffins in the cortege to the mass grave close to the school. They also provided an escort for each vehicle.